call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Calhoun?
Here.
Dempsey?
Here.
Fournier?
Here.
Kraft?
Here.
McGarity?
Here.
Rick?
Here.
York? Here.
Okay, we'll move to announcements, acknowledgments, communications, and reports. We have a proclamation for the National Sea Tracks Think Train Week. Whereas Sea Tracks Think Train Week is to be held across the U.S. from September 23rd to September 29th, 2024, whereas 2,192 rail grade crossing collisions resulted in 765 personal injuries, and were responsible for 248 fatalities in the United States during 2023. And whereas 1,378 pedestrian trespassing casualties have occurred in the United States, resulting in 663 pedestrians being killed and another 715 injured, while trespassing on railroad property rights of way during 2023. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad right-of-ways are private property, enhancing public awareness of the dangers associated with highway rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railways, and obeying established traffic laws will reduce the number of avoidable fatalities and injuries caused by incidences involving train and citizens. And whereas the International Association of Chiefs of Police, National Operation Lifesaver, Inc., United States Department of Transportation, and all local, state, county, and railroad law enforcement officers, first responders, and railroad corporations commit to partnering together in an effort to educate at a national level all aspects of railway safety, to enforce applicable laws in support of National Sea Tracks Think Train Week. Now, therefore, I, Laura Kropp, Mayor of the City of Mount Clemens, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby attest my full support proclaiming September 23rd to 29th, 2024, National Sea Tracks Think Train Week, and encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of rail safety education. Anybody else have any announcements, acknowledgments, communications, or reports? Okay, we'll move to adoption of the agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
Any questions or comments about the agenda? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Dempsey?
Yes.
Fournier?
Yes.
Kraft?
Yes.
McGarity?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
York?
Yes.
Calhoun?
Yes.
All right, we'll move to the first opportunity for the public to participate and address the commission. We ask that you come to the microphone, give us your full name, your residential address, and you abide by our 3-minute rule. Those who would like to address the commission are welcome to the microphone.
Ruthie Stevenson, 69 Dane Street. I have some concerns. South Main Street in Robertson. And as a supporter of the McCrest and other organizations through the years, this gentleman has decided on the right side in front of McCrest to set up his tent, all his junk. And people, it's 2 guys, and it's getting worse every day. And not only that, the building that was the insurance building on the corner, they're using that as a sit-down, screaming, smoking, drinking atmosphere. Something has to be done. As I stated before, I am a supporter. My church has been feeding them for years and different things like that. But when you start coming in and making the community look bad, there's a problem there.
Thank you.
So I wonder what the city can do about that, have him move, because if he was part of McCrest, he would be in the building. but it's not part of McCrest. And when there's one, there's another one. And how many more have to be done before we can do something about it? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the commission?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, friends and neighbors. My name is Norm Lupo, Lupo, 40666 Orchard. Only having 2 minutes,
You have three.
and knowing that,
You have 3 minutes.
I'm sorry?
You have 3 minutes. 3.
That's right. Okay. I'm a little hard of hearing from my service days, and some other disabilities, so I'm gonna make this short anyway, and I was saying I'm losing my voice anyway, which is a good thing for everybody. You already have that copies I brought down, Patty, and I'd like to give a shout out to Nancy. I don't know your last name.
Nancy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Start over. We had a wonderful conversation, and I really appreciate that, and that's really good government. And I am here twofold. One, this is great. I love this. And what I really appreciate is where, as you said, often I get the question from residents how I can help to support Mount Clemens. That is good and honorable, and that is my intent today. And that my intent also included the copies that I gave you to read, review, and consider. That's all I'm asking, to read, review, and consider. You're the government body, you're our leadership, you make the final decisions. I can only make suggestions and make recommendations. So with that said, I appreciate your time. Let me just say this. I know all about Mount Clemens. I came here in the early 50s. We just had a conversation. It's good to be home. I've been away for a while. I hate to tell you where I've been, and I'm glad to be back. As Jay Leno would call the state where I was, let me say it the way he does, Florida. I'm so glad to be back home, and I'm sincere. And I appreciate Mount Clemens, all the events, the Gratiot crew, everything that goes on here. And we all collectively want to make this work. But for the handicapped, to find quarters or to leave the car to go to a business for the handicapped people to feed these meters, to me, is unacceptable. This doesn't happen in other states. Okay. I'm saying it's a win-win. This is not about me, this is about we. And when I speak, and I've been involved in government for 50 years, I'm speaking for the greater good for a win-win. So with that said, you have the copies, and at your leisure, there it is.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to address the commission at this time?
Dante Walker, 163 North River Court. I'd like to thank Teresa McGarity and the River Acres community for doing the clapping today at Mount Clemens Secondary Complex at Seminole Academy on the first day of school. It was great bringing all levels of government, including the mayor, our county commissioner, Antoinette Wallace, as well as someone from the sheriff's office as well, clapping in students for the first day of school. I think that the little ones enjoyed it better. I think it made a big difference in the way that they came into school. Also, I'd like to remind everyone that this Friday we do have a home game at 7 p.m. for our football team. Tickets are $6. We take cash and digital pay on GoFan. So hope to see you all out.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the commission at this time?
Hello, my name is Angela Martin, and I was on Euclid Street the other day.
Wait, we need your full address for the record.
Okay, my address is 64 inches.
Thank you.
I was visiting a friend on Euclid Street.
Yeah.
The streets were so bad on that side, and I was just wondering if someone can get them straightened up or whatever, because I tripped and I fell flat. And so it's just, and then also the trees in front of my home or whatever, I didn't plant them, they were planted by the city and whatever, and they started getting bigger and bigger, and I feel that I shouldn't have to try to pay to get them, cut down or whatever, and that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Is there anyone else at this time who would like to address the commission? Okay, seeing or hearing none. Okay, well, we will move on then to administrative responses. We don't have any at this point. So we'll go to number 8, approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Support.
Any questions or comments about the minutes? Call the roll, please.
Fournier,
Yes.
Crap,
Yes.
McGarity,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Calhoun,
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Okay, general business 9A, first public hearing for downtown maintenance assessment. I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing for downtown maintenance.
Move to open the first public hearing for the downtown maintenance program.
Support.
Questions or comments about opening the first public hearing? Call the roll, please.
Crap,
Yes.
McGarity,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Calhoun,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Okay, before we open to the public for comment, we will hear from Mr. Shipman about the downtown maintenance program.
The enclosed map indicates primary and secondary streets. Also enclosed is a determination of assessment that was submitted by the Downtown Development Maintenance Committee when the program was first initiated. The projected 2024-2025 expense is $99,059, and that attached estimate from all maintenance is attached along with that. Primary rate of $16.67 and a secondary rate of $7.63 will generate a total assessment of $99,059.37. This is a 41% increase from the rates imposed in fiscal year 2024, which will cover projected costs for the period December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2025. Cost breakout is as follows. Street sweeping March 2025 through November 2025, which equals 40 sweeps at $54,000. Snow plowing and maintenance supplies at $17,135. Other maintenance at $19,500, and a contingency of $8,424. Any additional unspent funds will be factored into the subsequent year's calculation and be held to offset increases to costs related to contract negotiation for sweeping and increases in other costs.
Okay, so this is the opportunity for the public to comment on the downtown maintenance program. If there's anyone who would like to comment on that program, they can come up to the microphone and again give us their full name and residential address. You can come up.
Hi, Erin Liberty, and I'm a Macomb County resident.
We need your we need your residential address for the record, please.
Then it's gonna be P.O. Box 007, Roseville. So I'm here tonight, because I saw the, in the newspaper, the proposed water rate hike to fund water plant changeover.
Right now, this is a public hearing for the downtown maintenance program.
Okay, and I didn't see is that gonna be the next one, the water and sewer?
Right, which is not a public hearing.
Okay, well then I guess I'll get to take this opportunity, because you're talking about maintenance fees and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, can I ask, the water and sewer rates, are you going to make a decision tonight?
Yes, we will be making a decision tonight on water rates.
So you're gonna make a decision on it, and then only after you've made a decision, then we can have public participation. Okay.
Because we just had public participation. 2 items ago, we had public participation where we invited the public to address the commission. Okay.
I just
Okay.
misunderstood that was the hearing for the downtown maintenance assessment. Well, I guess I will comment at the very end, and also say that I, according to the newspaper, it's shuttering. The newspaper said that the city's looking to shutter its decades-old water treatment plant and integrate a regional one. And if the voting on the water and sewer rates is the very beginning of that, then I would ask that you table it until you get more information about it. But I'll listen to more of what you have to say.
Thank you.
I'll comment at the end.
Okay.
Ruby Stevenson, 69 Bain Street, just to make a comment on the maintenance of the downtown area. Having gone to a lot of the concerts and eat at the restaurants and stuff, that's a must. In order to get people to walk on sidewalks, snow, rain, whatever, it has to be maintained.
There you go.
And as it's maintained, more and more people will come in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the commission on the downtown maintenance program? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move to close the first public hearing for the downtown maintenance program.
Support.
Any questions or comments? Okay. Well, we'll probably discuss it. Yeah. Call the roll, please.
Garrity,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Calhoun,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Crap.
Yes. Now I'll entertain a motion.
I move to adopt the recommended rates, instruct the assessor to prepare special assessment roll, and set the date for the second public hearing on September 16th, 2024. Support.
Okay, anybody have any questions or comments now? Commissioner
Yes, I do.
Dempsey.
Due to the fact that we are anticipating to starting next year the revitalization of downtown and the renovation, will there be any refund to these owners who are paying for this assessment, or any credit for them for the following year, since some of their areas will not be able to be swept and cleaned and due to the construction?
So I think the plan is, if there's a balance, to carry it over to offset future
To offset,
costs.
so, okay, like you
Yes.
did with this.
Yeah, because every year we have to look at it again, so it could be an increase or it could be no increase if we have a balance that can support the following year.
So there's no restrictions with the company that you have to pay them the 85
They get,
or whatever.
by contract, they get paid per sweep, so
By
we
s-
could.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yep.
Thank you.
So for the prior year, our revenues exceeded our expenditures, correct?
For prior years,
just-
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it went into this calculation and by 34,000, well, almost 35,000.
Right.
And it was still a 41% increase.
Well, last year, it would have been probably 60% increase, but because we were anticipating the downtown sweeping and less sweeps, we only came in with a 21% increase last year. That didn't happen, but fortunately, we had a light winter, and So that helped offset that. So like if you remember last year, I
Yeah.
said,
That's what I
this
figured.
isn't the full amount. Next year, there will be an additional increase.
This is an outside company, correct?
Correct.
And so for those who have been paying attention and monitoring what they do, we're 1,000% happy with the work that they do.
Good.
We haven't been getting complaints about it, so
And I mean, that is the reason for the increase, right? You were paying about 32,000 and now you're paying 54. But if you're seeing it in the service, that's why we did it. There's so many complaints.
And do the businesses get any special notice of this other than that it's in the, if they're following the agenda?
They get a letter in the mail and it's posted in the paper.
and they got a letter in the mail before this hearing.
Correct.
Before this hearing or the next?
Before this,
Okay,
and they'll get one before the next.
okay. With their increase
It'll show
attached,
what
right,
their-
their assessment.
Yeah, it'll be available in the clerk's office.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody else have any further questions? Call the roll, please.
Rick,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Calhoun,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
McGarity,
Yes.
Okay, moving to 9B, water and sewer rates. I'll entertain a motion.
So can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Do you want just one of these motions?
Each one of them has to be passed individually.
So when do you talk about it? After each one?
After each one, correct.
So you just split it up? Okay. Then. I move to approve the retail water and sewer rates resolution as presented.
Do I have a support?
Support.
Okay, let's see. Mr. Shipman, do you want to go ahead and talk about
Sure.
just that part?
I will talk about all of it at once.
All right, and then we'll just get it over with.
The city's accounting firm, Plant Moran, completed the annual utility rate study that included retail water and sewer rates, wholesale water rates, and District D wholesale sewer rates. The rates were based upon the operating expenditures and capital outlay as shown in the 2024-25 fiscal year budget and approved by the City Commission. Attached are 5 rate sheets prepared by Plant Moran with their proposed rates and recommendations. The first sheet addresses retail water and sewer rates. Plant Moran recommends a water consumption rate of $5.79 per unit and a water fixed monthly service charge of $11.10. Note that charge of $11.10 is for a 5/8 meter, which is the average residential size meter. Plant Moran recommends a sewer consumption rate of $7.15 per unit and a sewer fixed monthly service charge of $9.22. Overall, the average increase to the residential consumer will be $13.40 per month. This is based on a monthly usage of 4.9 units per month. City of Mount Clemens water and sewer system is about to undergo a radical change. Instead of treating its own water, the city will soon shutter the water treatment plant and join the Great Lakes Water Authority. The city has obtained numerous grants and also loans from the state of Michigan that may include a sizable amount of debt forgiveness. In addition to the construction work that will be performed in order to join GLWA, the city also has a significant backlog of other capital projects that need to be performed over the next several years for both the water and sewer systems, including water main replacements, water meter replacements, hydrant replacements and repair, lead service line replacements, rebuilding the sewer clarifier, biosolids handling upgrades for both stage 1 and stage 2 biosolids, a leachate receiving station, centrifugal pump overhauls, building roofs, and many more. Plant Moran is also recommending water supply wholesale rates per MCF for Clinton Township of $60.21, and Harrison Township, $54.72. The water supply wholesale rate per MCF for Selfridge Air National Guard Base will remain the same this year per their contract. In addition, the following rate increases are also recommended. District D wholesale sewer rate of $31.89 per MCF, and a 3% increase for Wagner and septic hauler rates, as well as a 3% increase for most of the miscellaneous fees. The final water bill, water fill service, cross-connection program, and industrial pretreatment program fees will remain the same as the prior year.
Okay. Questions and comments?
I'll start off. I still believe that increasing the usage rates for water to the 17.9% we're looking at is too much for 1 year for our residents that are on the edge of sustainability. And I will be proposing an amendment, but I did not do the math ahead of time because what we were talking about before was percentages, not dollar amounts. And so I'm eyeballing it with the calculator, and it looks like it'll be about $540 per unit, $579, but I'm not sure if I should propose the amendment based on a 10% or dollar amount, or what the best way to proceed on the actual amendment would be to hit that 10% increase on water rates, or can I just say it as 10%? And I don't plan to propose the amendment now because I figure everybody else has other things to say also. But if somebody could help me make this proposal in a way that won't, that'll meet the requirements, I would appreciate it. But as it stands right now, I believe 10% on usage rates is already a big increase for the residents that are on the edge, and that's where I'm at on it.
For the benefit of everyone, including myself. So the motion that we just heard about proposes a bigger increase in the first year, yes?
Yes.
And I'm sure there's good reason to that. Can anybody help me understand it, or others understand it? Whereas I think Commissioner Rick is saying if we spread it out more evenly, it would be easier for people to handle. But what's the risk with that? Why are we doing the
Well, Danielle's here with us. And
Thank you.
so she can repeat what we had in 2 previous work sessions, why we picked this model and why it actually saves you the most money in the long run.
Sorry to make you repeat it, but I think it's worthy for people to understand it again. Thank you.
Yeah, so the answer to that is 2 things. So we did actually 2 models. One, which was the greater increase year 1 with smaller increases over the next 10 years, and one with even increases over the years. The risk with that is on the even increases model, at about year 5, you actually run out of cash. There's not enough, it doesn't generate enough cash in the model in order to make both the debt payments and the capital outlay that needs to be done in order to switch to GLEWA. That's the risk. The other part of it is that you'll actually end up paying less in the long run if you do a greater increase year 1 with tinier increases in year 2, years going forward. Because if we do the even increase this year and we re-update the model the next year, we might need an even greater increase than we think because it's a model. We're looking into the future, it's a crystal ball. So this guarantees that we get what we need and will most likely create less expense to the residents over those 10 years.
Most likely.
Yeah, most
we don't
likely.
really know a number or percentage or for sure.
Well, like I said, it's a model.
Yeah.
So I can't say yes, for sure, you're going to generate this because you're gonna have this much
Usage.
commodity use. I can't say that for certain, but that's what the model shows.
Can you say for certain that in year 5 we would run out of cash?
Yes, you will run out of cash. That's what the model shows. And you need an even greater increase in order to avoid that in year 3 when we go to update the model. So the idea is that the model gets updated every year with the budget.
Thank you for the explanation.
Which I think that explanation was one of the major factors in, at least for me, getting to my head wrapped around this rate right now and taking the hit now, because over a period of time, it will save the residents money.
Yes.
Is way we modeled it, or way, to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us can, we just pray we have the cost for all of this in some, as reasonable as we can possibly do it. So it's very difficult, and I've sat here recalculating various water bills for many people and what it would be. And it's a couple factors. It's your usage, and it's also your size of your pipe. But it was roughly 10%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really what we're looking at. If I applied all these rates to the bills that I looked at, it doesn't mean it's your bill or your bill, it's roughly 10%.
Yes.
Yes, Commissioner Dempsey.
The problem with any model, of course, is its usage.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basing it on usage. This year, we had a pretty wet summer. So a lot of people didn't use their sprinklers, where we could have dry summers. I mean, so the numbers really are going to fluctuate. We can't guarantee that we're going to only increase by $2 and something next year, or so on, because it's always, every year, it's going to be based on the usage,
Correct.
right?
That's why it's a model, it's a forecast.
Right.
It's based on the numbers, the data, hard data that we do have available to us.
Well, I just don't want us to project that with this first increase being the larger amount, that we're guaranteeing smaller amounts down the road, is what I'm concerned about. Because you can't necessarily do that, because the usage is going to drive it. So, I mean, 2 years from now or a year from now, we could be sitting here and saying, well, we need another 10% increase because we have, who knows, businesses leaving or whatever. I'm just kind of indicating, I don't want people to think that just because we're doing it today for this, that's going to be easier down the road either. There's no guarantee.
No, there is no.
So
Well, we can
I mean, it
guarantee
could
that
be.
we have a significant debt to pay. I mean, that's guaranteed.
That's
yeah, right.
I mean,
We have the debt.
we
that's not
know
going away.
we have this
Yeah.
debt. I mean, and it is,
Unfortunately.
and we know that if we don't, and in 5 years we won't have any.
And again, we've said this in the work session too, that part of this model is not just the GLEWA connection. It's fixing all of the water mains and
Right.
other issues in the system, because once we switch to GLEWA, every drop of water that comes out of that pipe we pay for. So if you have mains that need to be replaced, like we've identified, and we don't replace them as soon as we can, part of the capital plan, that will drive the costs up even more. So that's also part of that rate increase, is getting those fixed first.
And the lossage, which was what,
Exactly.
30%?
Yes. Yes.
Something like that? We've got to
Yes.
get a hold of that.
And if you look back at raising rates, historically speaking, in the last 10 years, let's say, we've been raising rates when we just have a higher cost, right? But we can honestly say to residents, this is what you're getting for your money, right? You're getting the GLEWA connection. You're getting a new storage tank. You're getting all new mains. You're getting things, right? When they say, well, what is my money paying for? This is actually something tangible. I can give you a list,
Yeah, we have a list.
right? I mean, I can give you are paying for things. It's not just like, oh, well, water costs more.
Right.
This is significant, and we have to pay for it. You can't just do it and say, we'll figure it out.
No, that ship sailed.
Like you just mentioned, I would like to also make it clear, I know we've heard this in a number of work sessions, but the fact that it probably wasn't our first choice to switch to Great Lakes Water Authority.
Right.
I think, like many people, I like Mount Clemens water a lot. And if it was just up to me and money were no object, it'd be amazing to keep it. But this is the position I think that we've been put in. And it is concerning that, at the end of the day, we'll have to pay a good chunk of money to get these repairs done and to make the switch. And like I said before, it is something I'm nervous about, but we have to take action. We can't. I think it makes a lot of sense that we make a decision that's best for the city, and we really did our best to consider residents, the different residents who live in our city. 17% of residents here live below the poverty line. And so it's very important to us that we make sure that no one gets left behind. At the same time, we have to have clean water. And like I said, we did not have a choice. And so, it's more of a statement than a question, really.
okay.
But, I really just want to make it so clear that with the hand that we were given, and, I'm not a financial expert. I trust the people we hired on the models that they gave us. If it's going to save residents the most money, it is the right thing to do. And it's really difficult with the cost of everything going up. But it's important, especially for the other repairs. I mean, I live right off of Hubbard, and that water main break makes it so you can't even drive down the street. I probably popped a tire just hitting that manhole cover. So this is extremely important, and we've heard a number of sides for it. And a lot of us have lost sleep over this, but this evening when we make our decision, I really think that I'm open to hear what your proposal would look like, what Commissioner Rick's proposal would look like, but I do think that it's important that we take care of this with the information we have now, and down the road there could be other issues, but we know today we made the right decision based off of the information we had.
Thank you. I believe if I think you have to, the person who made the motion would have to make a alternate motion. We vote on the motion that's on the floor first, and that if that is declined,
Before amending,
well, only the person who made the motion can amend the
it.
motion.
Okay. I can't propose an amendment.
You can propose an amendment, but the person who made the motion and the person who supported it have to support that.
Yeah, or it'll
Yes.
die on the vine.
So, or the motion, if the motion fails, you can present a new motion.
But we would have the advantage of hearing the intended motion before we vote.
He can offer an amendment, but it can't be amended unless it's amended by the person who made the motion. Am I speaking correctly?
You got it.
Okay.
I need to spend more time in Robert's rules too.
Rob.
So you can offer a
Also
motion if Commissioner Fournier is the one who made the motion, Commissioner McGarity who supported it. So you would have to hear the motion, decide if you want to change your motion, or we vote on your motion. If it failed, you could offer
a
second
alternate.
Yeah.
If we, looking at the 17.9% usage rate increase plus all these other increases that are not that much for the other various fees and stuff, are we expecting to be able to spend all of that on the capital improvements in year one? Or is some of this going to sit in the account waiting for the next projects?
So the way that the model works is that you have your schedule of 10 years of projects. So then you generate enough cash up front and over the years in order to pay for all that come down. So there will be some in reserve after the first year to help fund the 2 and 3 year project down the road, yes.
And that model probably includes interest?
Yes.
As income?
Yes, as income.
To help support
Yes.
the system?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, if I can, after touring our water treatment plant, I am very grateful for the Great Lakes Water Authority, the change that Mount Clemens has to have. 2 cities in Macomb County are not under Great Lakes. And so once we become a part of it, not only does it pay our water bill a certain amount every month based upon usage, it also includes plumbing services as well. So there are so many different advantages with it.
We are already there. That was the hard part, is because we didn't see it. So, like others, it's a little uncomfortable, but my thought is this: you always think about those who we think that are not going to be able to maintain, that they won't be able to make it. But there is so much funding out there for them to maintain. There's even emergency services for those who think that they're not eligible or what have you. But to be on a program where they pay a portion of your water bill every month will be a blessing to the residents. So you really aren't losing out when you look at the percentage that we're going to be paying. So with all of it said, to help ease my mind and help ease everybody else, I think we're going to be okay with it. It's scary because it's something we don't see out in the future, but working with people who have it and they're constantly seeing a payment on their water bill and they have plumbing problems and they don't have to pay out of their pocket for it, Mount Clemens we're going to be moving forward. We've been behind a lot, and it's time we dig that street up and fix what the problem is, and don't tell them what's under there, and we're going to need the money for whatever is under there to fix it.
And Commissioner McGarity is available on the first Friday of the month at Karnes Community Center to help those residents who need it to get connected once we are connected to Great Lakes, to get them connected to the programs that they need, because she's amazing.
$3,000 water bill. So I know it's hard. And I'm feeling the same, but I guess I don't know if it's okay to say, but once you do the math and you know what you're getting from it, it's beyond better. It's beyond better.
It really does come down to the math.
Yes.
It came down to the math when we had to go to make the choice between Great Lakes and building a new plant, and it kind of comes down to the math right now, because if we run out in 5 years, we're going to have to, it's going to be an atrocious rate increase, because we'll lose the benefit of accumulating enough to do these capital projects.
Yes.
When we have to do a capital project, anything, even at home, what would you tell your children? You have to start saving for it, right? You have to build up a good down payment or something. We have to build something here, and it is, believe me, it is. We don't take it lightly. This is painful, but I don't see. I think it will be all right. I think you're absolutely right.
Commissioner Conklin, go ahead.
I also want to add that the city left no stone unturned when it came to looking for funding.
Yes.
We got the $22 million in forgiveness from the state government. That really did a lot to lower what this rate would be. And I'm sure, we'll continue to do it working with our team. The one thing I do wish we had before this, I mentioned at the last work session, some of our businesses use a lot more water than the household would. And so I would be very interested, to see how much that this proposed increase would affect them. I don't know if you all made a model on that, which I understand, but.
We did I thought it was part of the presentation, but we did do a mock, similar to the family of 4 and family of 1. There's a 3-inch line commercial example.
Maybe it wasn't in the last. Okay. Do you know what the increase would look like for them percentage-wise then?
Let me grab it.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but thank you.
And while she's doing that, to be clear, I am not saying we should do a 10% and then just leave it like that for all time.
You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. The way I'm envisioning it would be 10% this year, a similar increase the following year, and then whatever we need to do to make the model work going forward.
I think it was the first.
But we can't, I don't believe we can commit ourselves to specific increases, but that's where my thinking's at.
No, I realize that.
Is instead of ripping the Band-Aid off in 1 year, half in 1 year, about half in year 2. Year 3 will have to adjust whatever compounding interest we didn't capture and then going forward, but for the businesses,
Okay. So in our example for a commercial, which would be a 3-inch line, so in the middle, 10 inches is basically like the hospital. So this would be like a small business. The overall increase would be about 22% because they have more usage and then they have a bigger meter. So their fixed charge would be higher than a house.
What was the cost 24 and then 29?
But like the total annual cost for a business. So the projection, so the total annual water and sewer bill for a 3-inch line, they use about 2,800 units a year, would be $40,000. And then in 2025, and then $46,000 in 2029.
That is a lot, but that is a lot less than I thought.
Yes, yes. But they're using almost, I can't even do that math in my head, but a house is about 4.9 units a month. And this is about, let's see, I don't have it in here. So 2,866 divided by 12. So about not very good at mental math. Calculators. So, but a big difference between what a house would use versus what a business would use. 3-inch line. 3-inch line's pretty big.
And then I don't know if you have this number on hand either, but how much interest would we be missing out on if we had chosen a plan that spread it out a little bit more? I guess how much interest would we get in year one?
So we were conservative on the interest because we're subjected to interest rates, right? And there's already talk now of cutting rates, if you guys have heard. So we tried to stay a little conservative on that because that's always just a happy surprise if it stays high. So our interest, where's it at? On here. There you go. About $405,000 in 2024, and we knocked it down to $355,000 in 25 for the greater increase on year one. And that's for sewer. So then if I was to look at the other one, don't. The even year increases. Sorry, bear with me. It's when you're under the gun, things don't want to open.
While you're looking for it, I'll make another comment. There's been some really good sound reasons why to do the bigger increase in year one. I do understand that. And I guess just for everybody's benefit, I know I'm no different than the rest of you, but it's hard to imagine that we could be, putting people and businesses in a situation where it's unsafe for them or they have to leave Mount Clemens or whatever. So I know we have resources for people and we know that those are only as good as the people who come and get them. But I'm just having a hard time weighing that and weighing the option of spreading it out a little bit. And I know everybody else is too, but I'm still struggling with that. I feel like it's a lot to ask people when they didn't expect it.
and the 17.9%, that's just for the usage. It's different for the flat rate. It's different for sewage usage and flat rate. But that's the one that really jumped out at me as the one that most impacts quality of life and businesses as far as what we would be asking people to give up.
They have to get the money
conserve.
from somewhere, sure. Or give up something.
Yeah.
Does anybody?
Did you find it?
Yeah, so we kept it the same conservative 355 from what we expected in 2024. And we did make more in 2024 than what is in this model because we did it back a couple months ago. So we try to keep it conservative on interest income. So there's a good chance that that will be higher than we expected, because you don't want to bank the whole model on interest income. So
Thank you for that. I'm so sorry to put you on the spot.
that's okay.
but,
I tried my best.
It's helpful.
Thank you
It's helpful.
very much.
Okay, so do we want to hear the model? I mean,
So what I am proposing is a 10% increase on the usage fees for drinking water or potable water, or whatever we call it, the water usage fees in year one, with the expectation of a similar increase a 10% increase in year two, followed by whatever adjustment needs to be made in year three to catch up, so that we still are treating so we're still not completely, so that we're having similar tapping into the general fund in the rip the Band-Aid off model, as opposed to emptying out the general fund as we saw in this steady increase model. So 10%, 10%, final adjustment, and then back on track with this model is what I am proposing. Do with that what you will.
Is that to me?
unfortunately, it has. I mean,
Well,
Like
can you please speak to that?
Yeah.
As far as trying to plug something like that into the model?
I mean, we can definitely plug that into the model. I mean, not right this second. We would have to go through and redo it. But with tapping into the general fund, when you do that, you take away other capital projects within the city, because then the general fund won't have its cash to do the other projects that are wanted within the city. So just keep that in mind. Like, we already have a contract out for a fire truck. We need that money in order to purchase it. It's already been the contract's been signed. We're just waiting for it to come in. So you have to keep those things in mind. When you say tap general fund, then you're gonna really reduce what the general fund can do with its own millage.
I'm not saying tap the general fund in year one. I'm saying in the model, you've got us tapping into the general fund in year, 5, 6,
5 and
something
6,
like
I think,
that.
yeah.
I'm saying 10%, 10%, whatever you need to do so that we still don't have to touch the general
Okay,
fund
that's what you're saying. Okay,
until then.
okay,
He's delaying that adjustment.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so still not touching the general fund until the rip the Band-Aid off model would do it.
Mhm.
So I don't know what year 3 would look like in that
And
model.
that's the risk, is that you doing a percentage increase now, you only do 10 and 10, and then, now we need to do a 30. Because it's a model. It could always happen that way. If things
Anything's
get delayed,
possible,
anything's
but
possible.
a 17.9 now, I don't see how a 10 and 10 and then 30, if something happened that causes a 30 there, I think we would see something similar even if we did a 17.9 now, and then whatever it's going to be, and then whatever caused that giant spike still there. All things being equal,
Yeah.
no unusual, unexpected things, a 17.9 now or a 10 now, 10 year 2, as opposed to a 17.9 and a 3 and change. I know it's not going to be exact,
Right.
but I feel
Yeah.
like a 10 and a 10 should get us in the ballpark of where we'd be with a, let's say, 18%, a 3 and change.
And if there was going to be that difference of a 30, something else must have happened.
Yes, exactly.
That we would have seen a needed increase regardless, perhaps.
Perhaps, but then you're also taking away the cash you would get in year 1 that could be invested and generate income as well.
But that's ultimately taking a loan from
Yeah.
the citizens. And I understand the need for that at times. But if we're not going to be
You
expending
should say something.
the majority of this capital,
I think you should.
I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's my proposal. I don't need to kick the horse anymore. It's everybody's
Thank
making
you
a
for
responsible
I'm gonna let.
decision here.
It was cold in
If
here.
I may, and I try to give you the facts, I think most of the time, and let you. So what you're looking at doing, and I get completely where you're coming from. And I just want you to know that what we brought before you, I can't tell you how many hours we went round and round on different models to come up with the few that we proposed in workshop one that we thought were the best, right, for everything considered. Because there's other models can save you a lot more money, but the increases are bigger. But what you're proposing right now is you're going to rely on future boards to decide this for you, because you might not be here. But you know what you have to do now. You know all the facts, right? You know what you have to do today to make this work. And you're not relying on people 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Because I've sat here as an employee and watched the professionals come to the boards and make recommendations for rates, and they not approve it. I've seen it many times where they proposed 5 and 6% and they gave 2, which is one of the reasons that we're in the shape that we're in now, because we didn't have the money to do the capital improvements. So that's what I would caution you on, is when we start talking about 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, is relying on other people to do your plan that you're laying out today. But if you lay this plan out today the way we have it, I don't think we're going to have nearly the problem with future boards with these smaller increases. So it's just something I want you to think about as we move forward with this.
I'm sorry. The next time we'd be voting on this would be next, what is it, September?
16.
Well, we would look at it again during budget season, right?
Okay,
And so, I mean, in theory, you are kind of recommending the rates during the budget, right? Because what you put in the budget is what you should be meeting in terms of capital improvement plans and all of the budget for the water department, right? So, I mean, in theory, you're a water fund. So we'll talk about it then, and then, yeah, we would probably vote again during September for water rates.
You'll still be here.
Right.
So, well,
One more.
all of us, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, not to challenge you, but every member of this
I
board.
understand next year, but I'm talking, this is a 10-year model, okay? Who's going to be here 10 years from now? Barbie going to be here?
Who knows?
You know what I'm saying?
Kicking me out?
And, you know, I realize you're all going to be here next year. Yeah, I can handle the simple math, but we're talking about a 10-year, model.
I'm for this plan over here. I mean,
Yeah, and so you're relying on other people to follow the plan that you're setting today, right? And but you have control today. And that's something I think you should keep in mind.
Spreading it over the second year, though, would be the same board. And then the third year, it would be more, and it would be, new members. But the majority of that would happen under us.
The first two, but then you don't know what that's going to cause. That could cause what would have been projected to be a 2% raise in year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those could become 10%, 12%, even higher raises in those subsequent years. So I say, we know what we can do today, right? And everything else after that is projection, and you have control of today. You don't have control of the tomorrows.
There are so many
Appreciate
capital
it. Thank you.
improvement projects that we have to get done. I mean, you talk about, the water main by your house, and it trying to keep the seesaw, which way to go. I've agonized over it. I did feel better after I did the calculations. I did. On a smaller residence, I'm not saying it's good or easy, but it wasn't as horrendous as I was thinking it was going to be. I'm more worried about businesses, quite honestly. But we're going to have it one way or the other. I mean, 17 this year versus 10 and 10 is 20. I mean, and it'll be 10 more on top of an increased rate this year. Keep that in mind. So we are, there's so many things that'll impact this, from interest rates to the cost of all these projects to who gets elected president. I mean, there's just so many things that are going to impact it that I think
That's
we need a
true.
little bit of insurance policy right now, if possible, even though, I guess for me, that's where I came out, that we need a little to make put a stake in the sand right now, because we have to get these capital projects done.
That's why we do that act.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing from the two of you who made the motion and who supported the motion. It doesn't sound like you are amiable to the friendly amendment at this point, which is fine. And if it doesn't pass, then you are free to make a motion.
I suspect I won't need to.
But just keep our
always
the rules
possible.
here. Okay, so. Everyone,
just question,
yeah,
just question.
that was my next question.
Could it be tabled to the next meeting to get the numbers that Eric is talking about, if he's that concerned? It depends on how passionate you are about it.
Well, for me, it's I've made my case, and I think seeing the numbers for year 3 isn't going to drastically change my opinion, one way or the other.
But it might change other people's, maybe. I don't know. Like,
I mean, if they
do we feel like
plugged in
that's
what you're
important?
saying, so you would see the numbers like you're seeing for this. Is
The 10
that
and
something
10
you
and-
want to see? Yeah, 10, and I'm just throwing it out there because if we're going to vote on it, and you have reservations on this, which I get the feeling some others do, maybe having something to compare it with, those numbers.
I don't want to.
2 weeks isn't going to.
We've had a lot of discussion on this already. I don't think any of us are going to land and feel really good about. We're all kind of.
Well, you might feel
nervous
better
about
if it's next year 10 and
Yeah.
versus 17.
See, I hate the fact of take 10 now, 10 next year. It'll be 10% on top of the 10% too. I mean, so we're.
Well, then you'd be caught up, right? You're
And
right
God
on
knows
that.
what
No,
will
you're
happen
right.
else that we will. But I
was just throwing it
I've
out.
come
Yeah.
to.
Just throwing it out.
I appreciate that. I think getting the decision made and moving on is probably in our best interest, one way or the other. I do appreciate it though, but I feel like that's something I should have asked 2 work sessions ago, and we're here and
All right, on that note, does anyone else have any other comments or questions? I don't want to stifle anyone. All right, hearing none, we're going to call the roll, please.
York,
No.
Calhoun,
Oh, shouldn't have to go second.
you could have gone first.
Extremely honest with Spencer, I would say that.
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Crap,
Yes.
McGarity,
Yes.
Rick.
No.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, everyone, for all the dialogue. I really appreciate it.
Only
It's
4
not-
more to go.
That was the first one.
That was the hard one.
That was the hard one.
All right, so next one.
I move to approve the wholesale water rates resolution as presented.
Support.
All right,
don't care that much
questions,
about that,
comments? And did you want to add anything else to it?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Was that a resounding no?
No. It was just a simple no.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions or comments on wholesale water rates? Okay, call the roll, please.
Calhoun,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Crap,
Yes.
McGarity,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
York.
Yes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move
Number
to.
3. Go ahead.
I move to approve the District D wholesale sewer rates resolution as presented.
Support.
Any further comments on the District D?
What District D again?
District D is located in Clinton Township. It's like north of Clara and Canfield and east of Groesbeck. So we've got that expired contract we have with Macomb County to treat District D sewage for Clinton Township. So we basically bill the county and then they bill Clinton.
Thank you.
And then just so you know, we hadn't increased till last year. I don't think we increased since 2009. It was 2009 and then we increased it last year. So
And what percentage are we increasing that?
I don't know what, do you know the percent, Danielle, off the top of your head, what the percent
Sorry.
was?
Poor Danielle.
I got the numbers, but
31.89.
I said it.
Percentage. They're saying they can't. Trust me, it's the only time you won't be able to hear them. Normally.
I'm claiming.
How about now? Good?
There we go.
I think that mic was loose.
Okay.
Last
That's
year it was
okay.
2831 for MCF. This year it's 3189. So I don't know the percent. If you want to do the math, it was 2831.
Okay.
3189.
Mm-hmm.
So 12.6%.
Thank you.
Call the roll, please.
I'm fully informed now.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
McGarity.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
York.
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
Okay, to the Vector and Septic.
I move to approve the Vector and Septic Hauler Rate Resolution as presented.
Support.
Call the roll, please. Oh, yep, go ahead, questions? Yep.
This is that's the station at the sewage plant.
Yep. So that's the one that we're building the new one.
And this mostly is to cover part of, well, we pay for that out of the general fund, right?
No.
No, that's out of
comes out
this.
of- Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I can tell you that it costs $350 to get your septic tank pumped out because I just had mine done. So
Thanks for letting us
just
know.
that's what
information I
the
didn't
septic
need.
and tractor haulers are making good money on that. So
Okay. Anybody else have any information to give on that one? All right. Call the roll, please.
Fournier.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
McGarity.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
York.
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
And Dempsey.
Yes.
And the last one.
I move to approve the miscellaneous fees resolution as presented.
Support.
Anyone have any questions about the miscellaneous fees?
2%.
Okay, hearing none, call the roll, please.
Pratt.
Yes.
McGarity.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
York.
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Okay, general business 9C, purchases and payments. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve purchases and payments of invoice as presented.
Support.
Who has questions or comments on this one?
Did the insurance come in at what we had in the budget? I mean, were we? Sorry.
Sorry, what was the question? I heard
The insurance, the new, the new package that was presented to us, is it what we had in the budget? I mean, were we pretty much? You can tell me later.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I would think not, because that terrorism, the certificate act of terrorism at 8,000, I don't think that was something we anticipated.
we had that last year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why
is it red?
Yeah, why would he
It's-
highlight it then?
It's your choice. We're recommending that you get it. You don't
Oh,
have to
okay.
add it. It's an addition to the policy. We had it last time. We're recommending you get it again.
Oh.
There is the one additional, it's renewed every 3 years. That's part of this policy. That was about 26,000. So,
And Barb, it was in the cover letter. Yeah. The annual renewal premium is $400, including the
Well-
premium can be reduced by $8,823 if the city decides to refuse terrorism coverage. As in the past, we strongly recommend the city secure terrorism
Right.
coverage, as the original federal act has been amended to include both foreign and domestic terrorist acts. The expiring premium was.
Guess it would help if I read all of that. I went through the whole,
It's just in the cover letter. So.
you know, thing
it's the
here.
pollution and remediation legal liability. That's every 3 years. That's in addition to this
Yeah.
policy that,
Well, I was looking at some of the other ones to see the increase,
yeah.
you know,
12%
which
increase.
I shouldn't be surprised with insurances.
I'm surprised that we've only had to have the certified acts of terrorism for the last 2 years. We've had to have it in New York for 10.
10?
If you're in a building over 4 stories high.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming
And it
here
might
it's
have been
for a
before
water
that,
plant?
but I didn't have a building in New York.
Right.
So
It's
before that.
recommended. We don't have to get it, but
Well,
$8,000 sounds pretty cheap for what?
yeah, for 447,000. I mean,
Yeah, don't forget
You can
collection.
tell me later,
Yeah.
Danielle.
Sadly.
She's looking it up.
She's-
She's looking it up.
Is there any other questions or comments on this? Do you want her to, do you want us
Tell
to?
you what the increase in the budget was.
Yeah.
So the increase on the budget line for liability insurance was about 9.4% from the prior year.
So nope, this is 12.8.
So we'll have to present an amendment.
Okay.
Thank you, Danielle. All right, call the roll, please.
McGarity.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
York.
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
Dempsey.
yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes. Okay, moving to consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the use of, is that where we are? Move to approve the use of Olsen Park by the Mount Clemens Montessori Academy Parent Guild for a movie night on Friday, October 18th, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Support.
Call the roll, please.
Rick.
Yes.
York.
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
McGarity.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, Mr. Shipman, city manager's report.
The city is developing a list of remaining vacant city-owned residential lots and plans to proceed with the bid process for potential sales. Details will be posted on the city website and social media once they become available. As a reminder, in observance of Labor Day, refuse pickup will run 1 day behind schedule from September 2nd through the rest of this week. Reminder that property taxes are due on Monday, September 16th. Any remaining balance after that date will incur a 4% penalty. The annual Mount Clemens Fire Department Pancake Breakfast will be Saturday, September 7th from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Also, smoke detectors are available for residents with a need. Residents can pick up a free detector at the fire station on 2 Dickinson Street. Identification showing proof of residency is required. Rental units are excluded as the landlord is responsible for the installation of smoke detectors in rental dwellings. Absentee ballots will be mailed to Mount Clemens voters during the week of September 30th. Please be advised that if you plan on being away from home during this time, your absentee ballot cannot be forwarded to you with the rest of your mail, as election mail is prohibited from being forwarded. Please contact the clerk's office immediately if you would like your ballot mailed to another address between the months of September and November. Our upcoming events, we have the Uptown Friday Night Concert, Friday, September 6th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., featuring the Olivia Van Gore Quartet. That is on the main stage on Macomb Place in front of O'Halloran's. The annual Mount Clemens Grand Prix Soapbox Derby is Saturday, September 7th at 10 a.m. That's on the Crocker Bridge, and that will be weather permitting. Final concert for the summer, Uptown Friday Night Concert, Friday, September 13th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., featuring Kathleen Murray and the Soul Commission. It's the main stage on Macomb Place in front of O'Halloran's. And we have the Fall Art and Craft Show downtown on Macomb Place and North Walnut Street, September 14th and 15th. Saturday will be 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There'll be live entertainment on the fountain stage both days. And since time of writing this, we have kayak lockers installed. And Jeff, are they operational and ready for rental?
They certainly are.
Okay, there you go.
Are you doing the voyage, the first?
We're going to do a little social media piece on exactly the process from start to finish, and then we're going to take some video.
Of you getting in?
I like to talk to these
Yeah.
things.
You getting in it?
No, I was Eric.
I already
In the paddle
volunteered
suit.
for it.
He already volunteered. He's doing it in the paddle suit. So.
Awesome, I can't wait to see that.
I don't know if I'll actually get in the water with the paddles, but do the point and you do this.
Oh no,
because
that guy's in the water.
It's kind of top heavy.
Oh,
And,
okay, all right.
I'll lose your excuses already.
When is this?
Yeah,
That
might
is
have
the question.
might have a life jacket big enough to go over there.
I need to get a giant life jacket, don't I? That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
for sure. All right. Does anybody have any questions or
When is
comments?
this?
We've gotten off the rails.
That was our question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When
Date to be determined.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Oh,
soon.
well, it's
Very
getting
soon.
cooler
It's too
out.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah, wait until it's,
50 degrees.
chill.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Shipman? All right. Seeing none, we will move on to the second opportunity for the public to address the commission. All that we ask is that you come to the microphone, give us your full name, your residential address, and you abide by our 2-minute rule. We open up the microphone to the public.
Now's the time.
Well, and it's Miss Liberty again. And I already gave you my address. I don't know that anything that I'm going to be saying is going to change anybody's mind, but the cool thing about Robert's Rules of Order is if you voted in the affirmative, you can bring it up and vote it down at the next meeting if you choose to. Your vote is not set in stone. So I just wanted to point out that the water, I have so many different notes. Water, electric, and also gas, they fall under the same accounting rules. Whatever the amount overage, they get spread around every single resident. It's just an overview of what it is. But I've been speaking at the Michigan Public Service Commission notice of hearing because DTE is having another rate increase. And any costs that they incurred at this specific meeting, I think it was like trees, whatever, those increased in costs get put onto the consumers. Same thing with water. Any increases gets put on anybody else. And let me tell you, GWA, whatever, they are doing a lot of construction around. Our water is going to be increasing no matter what you do, because there's no business forces that keep these costs down. Again, all of these costs are passed on. So we have to do our due diligence and make sure that that we do try to keep these costs down. I mean, going to Great Lakes Water Authority, I don't think that's the best idea for you. I didn't take the tour of the water plant, but when you have competition, and Mount Clemens is competition for water, and I mean, prize fighters that came to Mount Clemens for the springs here. There's something special in that water. And they don't want the competition. I would highly suggest you do not go forward with it. You find a way. Detroit has trees still existing.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the commission at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to commissioner comments, and we will start with Commissioner Rick.
Thank you, Mayor. First, thank you, Danielle, for putting up with us. Appreciate it. And for providing all the information that we need. It's appreciated. Greg, thank you for all the work you're doing, getting through all these processes, allowing us to make better informed decisions. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Especially while you're juggling 50 million other things. And thank you to my fellow commissioners. I really am grateful to be part of a reasonable deliberative body. It's nice. I would like to give a shout out to our team that takes care of the downed trees. I work with some folks that live in other surrounding communities, and our trees are sorted out generally within 24, maybe 48 hours. Down trees in the road, they're gone quickly. And a lot of folks that I know in surrounding communities do not have that experience. And I just want to say I appreciate the extra time and hour the staff puts in to getting that done. I would like to thank the Macomb County Office of Senior Services and Macomb County Elder Justice Alliance for the community conversation they hosted at the library to start talking about senior isolation, how to reduce it. And it was really nice to see some community members there, as well as community leaders, taking the issue seriously and thinking of a path forward. I'd also like to extend a thanks to the Canadian National Railway Company for the work they're doing to repair the crossing at Harrington. I thank them. My shocks thank them. It was needed. And then lastly, if anybody else is interested in serving on a meaningfully constructive deliberative body, there are openings on our boards, committees, and commissions, which you can find more information on our website or by contacting City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Calhoun.
First thing I want to do is I want to thank everyone who came to the meeting today to speak, to give us your opinion. All right, I'll talk about it. Thank you to everyone who came to the meeting tonight and to the previous meetings to speak and give their opinions. We listen to each and every one of them. Sometimes I watch the meetings and listen to them again, but really it's greatly appreciated. I want to thank Mr. Lupo for sending us the information about the parking issue. Issues that are important to members of the community. It's so great when people let us know and put in the time and research. So, and thank you for your service as well. I also want to say, like Commissioner Rick, thank you to the folks who helped with the cleanup after the storms last week. And thank you to the hardworking folks at DTE who got the power back on. So thank you to the working people there. To the people who are in management there, I will say I do appreciate them working with elected officials from other communities. They had a call where people could ask questions. I asked people to send me their questions, and I'm still waiting for them to send me some responses to those. But I know the answers to most of them. Most of the questions were around what can DTE do to prevent this from happening in the future? And their solution is just more money with no real plan, just like it's been the past few times. So I have to say, I'm disappointed in them along with the rest of the community. I'm thankful that many people are looking into this issue and that they're raising their concerns up there. I'm really hoping that we can help them find a solution that works better for all of us. On the water, like I mentioned before, it's a really tough decision. A lot to learn in almost a year about a water system, a completely different water system. I am very confident this evening that that when I voted yes, that it was the right decision. I did the math. My bill is going to go up around $9 or $10 a month, a little over $100 a year, and it's a very privileged thing to say that $100 or $200 a year isn't much for some people. Commissioner McGarity is very big on letting people know the services that are out there, the money that's out there. And I'm just, I encourage everyone to please make sure that you're checking to see if you're eligible for those. But there's so much work that needs to be done at higher levels, but we really, tonight, this was a really difficult decision. And we did our best. I really want everyone to know that, and please continue to share your opinions, but we did our best. And we'll continue to do that. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ditto. Instead of going through all of it. But I do have a public announcement here. The Cracker House Museum is going to have their cemetery walk Saturday, October 5th from 12 to 4 at the Clinton Grove Cemetery. This year, the actors will be telling stories of our brave firefighters and their families from the historic Mount Clemens Fire Department. So come out and enjoy the history, the refreshments, raffles, and the fun. And you may call 586-465-2488 for your tickets. And tickets are $20 for non-members, $18 for members. And if you'd like to become a member, you can become a member for $25, and then you only have to pay $18 for your ticket.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wanted to say that. And I just want to piggyback on something that Mr. Rick said. Commissioner Rick, was this afternoon I had the opportunity to attend the workshop about seniors, and I think it was extremely interesting from the different viewpoints and the issues that are out there that I think many of us really are not familiar with. And I hope that we have another chance to, with all the information we came up with, and hopefully we can come to some solutions to help. But it's very, very eye-opening it was for me, and I appreciate the invite. But it's open, if we have another one, it's open to everybody. And I think it's just, it was enlightening, let's put it that way. And that's it.
Thank you. Commissioner York.
I support everything that they all said, and I will pass my comments on. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McGarity.
I was extremely excited. The energy from today with going to the schools, to Mount Clemens High School, Mount Clemens Middle School, and then walking over to Seminole to cheer the teachers, the students, the custodians, those that open the doors. You just felt the energy. It was, and I'm a high energetic person, but when I tell you, if I had money to walk into my job and give everybody donuts and coffee, it felt good. And if I felt that good, those students, they felt good. They were given hugs by the superintendent and teachers. It was just beautiful. Children who don't get hugs, children who, where there was some incident where there was a very extremely unhappy parent, and the child, you could just see it on the child's face. The parent was just fussing as they were walking along, and we were like, it's a good day for you, it's a good day, and you could just see the difference. We made a difference in these children's lives today, and the city came together. It was good to see the city with the county, with the state, with the churches. Everybody put everything aside, and love was the answer, and it was definitely shown in the city that we live in. So I'm looking forward to doing that every year. I'm usually asleep by now, but because of what happened this morning, honestly, I'm still on a very high from that. And so a big thanks to everyone that participated and helped spread the word. We're looking forward to next year, the day after Labor Day at 7:00 in the morning, being outside to cheer our residents. And the other thing I like to share is this Friday at Carnes Community Center is the state, thanks to State Representative Denise Mincer for organizing, bringing the Secretary of State, Michigan Works, Macomb County, a lot of very good agencies are coming together under one roof here in Mount Clemens at Carnes Community Center from 11 to 1. So this is an opportune time for you to come, bring people in your family who haven't registered to vote, need to change their ID, have questions. Even DHHS will be there to answer questions. You might want to check on applications, whatever you need to do regarding the state. You want to make it to Carnes Community Center from 11 to 1 this Friday. So September 6th. September the 6th, this Friday. Okay. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Fournier.
Thank you. I wish I could have been there this morning. Unfortunately, my boss wanted me in Birmingham. But so that's the joys of when you work. You can't always go to these things. So I'm glad that they were successes. I want to remind everyone about the art party. It is September 19th from 6 to 9. Tickets are available. Again, a great community event. I mean, it just is a lot of fun, and it supports a great cause. It is the Art Center's only major fundraiser all year. And if you have never done the Cracker Cemetery Walk, I highly recommend it. It is fun. It is really a lot of fun.
Thank you.
It's a great, take the kids. It's really a cool event. Thank you, Mr. Lupo, for your letter, and I will look forward. We will have a response, I assume, next week for that. I would like to hear the response anyway. And Ms. Ruthie, the same with that, what you were talking about. I always wondered what that was. I had no idea. But I'd go by, and it has been getting bigger. So I think we need to, I would be curious about that. And Ms. Martin, the trees, they will come cut those trees if you ask Mr. Jeff Wood real nicely. He will come and take care of that. He's probably already made a note of your address, and he's probably going to. But and finally, the water. Please know this was tough, folks. It was really, really seriously tough. We all knew these rates were going to have to go up, but when we have to actually say yay or nay. It's a tough thing to do, and it affects all of us personally as well as everyone in the city. And so I hope, as Commissioner Calhoun said, this was a very, very, very difficult decision, and we didn't do it lightly. And there's been 2 workshops on it, and and Danielle is shaking her head as it's been a long road getting to this point. So thank you, everyone, for working on it who did it, the city. Thank you for all the information, and we'll move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I will have a coffee talk on September 10th, which is a Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. And then September 12th, return of the evening coffee talk at 6:30 p.m. at Black Cat. September 10th, the Tuesday, is at John's Family Grill. All of that information is in the Clementines and located on social media. I, too, was able to attend the clap-in today, and I got my own kids out the door for their first day, and they're teenagers at this point, so I made them take a picture on the front porch, and I got the eye roll and a half-hearted smile. But I'll tell you, I walked into the secondary complex, area where we've started off in the high school with those kids coming in, and you could tell the kids that have a home life where they're ready for their first day of school, right? They all have the new shoes and the new backpack and the new water bottle and the ready to go, right? And then you could see the kids that didn't.
That's right.
And you could see see the kids that, you know, might not have wanted to look you in the eye. But by the time they got from the front of that line with all of us cheering to the back of the line, I noticed on many occasions the look was very different and the shoulders were lifted a little higher. And I'm so happy to be a part of that. But more so, we have Commissioner McGarity to thank for that. And I know she's going to give credit to River Acres, and I'm sure they deserve some credit too. But we have Commissioner McGarity, because Commissioner McGarity, in the time that she has served for this year, has identified problems and came with action. And so I just want to say thank you. And it's been a pleasure to serve with you for this year. And I really, really appreciate how much you have served these residents. So thank you for that.
Now you're just digging.
Today, I also had the opportunity to attend a 100th birthday at Meadowbrook, forgive me, at the assisted living facility on southbound Gratiot. And there's a resident named William Shippa there. And he turned 100 years old today, and he served in both World War II and the Korean War. And the stories, but with only spending about 15 minutes actually getting a one-on-one conversation with him, just that 15 minutes of really, and I said to him, you know, this is the best part of the job, because normally I would drive by this facility very often, right? Every day, maybe several times a day. And I would never get the opportunity to meet such an incredible person. So this is the best part of the job, right? And we are so lucky to serve residents at Mount Clemens and in the greater area, but to see and meet people like that. So happy birthday to Bill, and I hope I'm wishing him 100 more years. He said no. And of course, I would be, if I didn't mention happy birthday to Commissioner Fournier. She's gonna kick me if she could reach me. Happy birthday. And I want one more kudos. Thank you to Nancy, because Mr. Lupo mentioned Nancy, and I can't tell you how many times a month I hear a resident talking to Nancy either on the phone or at the counter, and she takes a lot of extra time and she makes sure that people understand and get what they need. And if she can't solve the problem, she tries to help. And sometimes she can't. There's no solution, but she makes them feel a little better about there not being a solution. So thank you, Nancy, and I really appreciate that. And go, Nancy. And I'm gonna kudos. I mean, I can't. There was no name calling, and there was no yelling, and there was no "you don't understand" at this table today, and that was a really, really, really hard choice. So thank you to all of you for not being jerks. I really So with that, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session for discussion of potential sale of city-owned property and closed session to discuss the city manager annual performance review.
Are these both one motion or two?
I don't know.
One's fine.
Okay, one's fine.
Okay, well then I move to go into closed session to discuss the potential sale of city-owned property and closed session to discuss city manager annual performance review.
No brainer. Support.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments about those motions? Okay, then we will move to closed
You
session.
need to vote.
We need a vote.
Roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All those in favor?
A roll call.
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
McGarity.
Yes.
And Rick.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move to closed session. Welcome back from closed session. Commissioner Rick, do you have a motion for me?
This is the purchase, yes?
Yes.
You might want to consider a motion to authorize the sale of what is commonly known as the Clemens Ice Arena for a price of $4 million, consistent with the terms and condition in the purchase agreement that was presented this evening.
So moved.
Support.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Call the roll, please.
Sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
Okay, Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Crep,
Yes.
McGarity,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Yor,
Yes.
and Calhoun.
Yes.
Excellent.
You're next.
Alrighty. I move to direct the city attorney to address and draft language for a proposed contract regarding the city manager. Let's start over. I move to direct the city attorney to address and draft language in a proposed contract regarding the city manager's reimbursement for city-related activities.
Support.
Wow.
Jinx.
Whichever one you want.
Okay, questions or comments on the proposed motion? Okay, call the roll, please.
Fournier,
Yes.
Crep,
Yes.
McGarity,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Yor,
Yes.
Calhoun,
Yes.
and Dempsey.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Support.
Okay. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.